realising you've potentially lost all your stuff and you're naked in public. Okay, so we've got our supplies. We have Starbucks coffee, we have 2 large waters, beef and tomato pot noodle, and a selection of Nando's. Okay, laptop. My main computer is broken, so tonight we're going to be doing the full grind all on this laptop.
Okay, here we go. And we are in. What do we want to play there? Sunday Million. Sure. Okay, we are in. What else do we want to play? We're definitely going to reg my favourite tournament of the whole week. Supersonic. That is the Stone Cold Menace. I need to eat, so I'm just going to one table the Sunday Million for a little bit, finish eating, and then register some more things. Okay, so we're 4 table in. Just had Nando's. So, online tournaments, let's go! I'm going to attempt to answer some of the questions while I play it, but we'll see how that goes. I've got to say, hats off to those Twitch streamers who can play all these tables and interact. I'm already finding it a little difficult, and I've just got to interact with myself. Q&A, let's go. So I was playing online on Sunday. It went okay. I did the whole Q&A while I was playing. Went back to look at the footage. The audio was just unusable. It was extremely tilting, but we're going to attempt to do it again. I actually won a tournament on Sunday, and I'm going to show you a quick run of that right now. Sam Leslie, is Jake your real name? Yes. Bruno Baidaki, what is your opinion on putting content out there? Do you think it hurts your game because you're giving people a free look at your strategies? Does the fact that you're creating something meaningful and helpful compensate for that? Thanks, Bruno. I'll be in Prague, come say hi. It was a slight concern when I first considered filming my hands and talking strategy and stuff. In the past, I've posted incredibly little strategy advice on forums and in interviews and things like that. I've generally stayed away. And honestly, I think you're right, Bruno. Creating something and seeing the end products and creating something that people can get value from, I think definitely outweighs any time like someone's going to be able to exploit me in the future because they've seen the way I play a certain hand. It's not like I have one strategy for one situation and like someone's going to know what I'm going to do. I'm constantly adjusting to different tables and players, so I really don't think I think you'd have a hard time doing much with the information anyway. From Felix Reba, do you like live or online poker better, and why? I enjoy online poker. I like playing the hyper turbos and things like that, and some satellites to live events. And then like on a Sunday or during WCOOP or Scoop, I'll take it more seriously and be properly at like my desk. I think if I had to pick, personally, I love live poker better. Online poker is a great training ground to like put in lots of hours and play lots of hands, but I just love the experience of live poker, like being at the table, socially interacting, and seeing when you beat people. I know that sounds kind of sick, but I like seeing people when you own someone in a hand. I like seeing them. I know it's kind of brutal, but that's the truth. Rowan Lees asks, what video editing software do you use? Final Cut Pro. Do you sell action or do you have 100% of yourself? I very rarely have 100% of myself. In most of the tournaments I play, I'll swap somewhere between 5 and 20% with friends, And outside of the World Series main event, if I play a 10k buy-in or higher, I will sell a certain amount of action depending on how I'm feeling and how I'm doing at the time, basically. We found a good one. Matthew Johnson asks, have you been robbed before? Okay, this is a good question. And you might be thinking, why do you look so excited? Why are you so happy about this potential situation? You're going to find out. The main reason is I didn't lose an extremely large amount. It was just, I'll tell you. So this was about 5-6 years ago now. One of my first times in Barcelona. I was there for the EPT, and it was one of the off days. Decided to go out drinking. I remember we went to some shop bar. I was with my good friend Ashley Mason. Then we ended up at this karaoke place. There was a few people there actually. Marvin Rattermine was there, Liv was there, some of the PokerStars staff were there. And I remember going to the bar over and over and ordering mucho vodka with Red Bull, please. Because the girl behind the bar couldn't speak Spanish, so I kept on just ordering mucho vodka with Red Bull over and over. Bad idea. So, several mucho vodka Red Bulls later, the karaoke bar closes and me and Ash decide to wander down to the beach, Barcelona beach. Now if you've been to Barcelona before, there's a big row of like restaurants on the beach that turn into clubs at night basically. It must have been about 4-5 a.m. This was back in my single days. So we wandered down to the beach, we were just gonna see what was going on. People like listening to music, drinking, having fun. It's really cool actually. We thought we saw some girls in the sea, so we thought, let's go and try and impress them. And I don't know who thought of it, but we decided to go skinny dipping. So we just like, thought it was a hilarious idea at the time, stripped off completely naked and just started jogging down to the beach. Morale was through the roof. So we get into the water, jump in, we're loving life. It's like, we think it's like, well, funny. We think it's really funny. And then we start to look around, no girls. Either there was some kind of mirage, or possibly we scared them away. But either way, there was no one there. And all of a sudden the initial excitement has worn off a bit. We're kind of like, looking at each other like, hey mate, we're both just naked now, this is a bit weird. Let's go back. So we sheepishly go back towards where our stuff is, or where we think our stuff is. We put it on this spot, kind of by a wall, and it's gone. And at first I thought we must just have drunkenly like not realised where we put it, so all of a sudden we're scrambling around, like looking at all like the various places nearby. Bear in mind it's still quite busy, and we're naked. And it's extremely sobering experience, realising you've potentially lost all your stuff, and you're naked in public. It's like one of those dreams where you just wake up naked and it's a nightmare and everyone's looking and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Feeling very sober and pretty goddamn self-conscious. We realised that it's gone. All our clothes, our phones, our passports, wallets, bank cards, hotel room key card, any kind of identification is gone. Now we're like, okay, we need to try and get ourselves out of this situation. What should we do? So we jog to the side of the beach. I remember there's like a palm tree and it had like these big like hanging leaves coming down. Big leaves, just to clarify. So we jump up, grab two of these leaves to make ourselves like a little man skirt thing to like just help ourselves like have a little bit of dignity that we have left, even though there's probably zero right now. And we're staying at different hotels. And looking back now, why we split up, I do not know. We said our naked goodbyes and I said I'll speak to you in the morning. So I was staying at the W Hotel. I had to walk right down to the end of the beach, or like I was walking pretty quick as I was just trying to get out of this situation. Luckily I'd sobered up enough to completely explain the situation to the guards and the security at the hotel. I'd verified what was in the room and my address, etc. Luckily they let me back in and all was good. until we had to spend like 9 hours at the police station the next day. And we had to obviously cancel our bank cards. We had to go to the embassy to get new temporary passports, cancel our phones. It was, to be honest, it was a disaster. Funny looking back, but at the time it was a complete disaster. When we went to the embassy, it might have been the police station, Channel 4 were doing a documentary about holidaymakers having things stolen and getting new passports, weirdly enough. And they asked me if I wanted to be part of the documentary, and I was like, in my hungover state. I had one of those hangovers, you know, where you think your banter's really good, but it's not. But like, you think you're funny, but I was in one of those moods, and I was like, yeah, why the hell not? Somewhere in the Channel 4 archives is me getting interviewed by like some Channel 4 reporter about getting my stuff stolen. I saw a small clip of it once, it's pretty damn funny. Fall Farrell asks, hey Jake, how do you keep yourself motivated to keep learning? I'm of the opinion that the day that I stop learning is the day I hang up my boots, the day I hang up my poker playing hands and cards, and I am done. If you stop learning, it's the beginning of the end. And next question. Chris Newton asks, do you play in Vegas much, and what's your favourite casino there? So for the past 7 years, I've spent the whole World Series there, and I mean the whole World Series. I used to go real early for the Bellagio 25k and stay until like mid-end of July, for like the whole 2 months. It was my 7th year in Vegas this year. And my favourite casino to play at is, I love the Wynn Poker Room, but of course, if you get into the Thunderdome, that's where it's at. AB asks, what are the biggest stakes you've ever played in a cash game? I've played quite a lot of 25-50, a small amount of 50-100, and I played in a game once which was like 50, 100, 200, 400 ridiculously. And that was a DCD actually in Nottingham. Tom Dean, have you ever considered a permanent move to the States? No, not anytime soon. I do like America a lot, like to spend a lot of time there, but I love London. I'm gonna be here for a while. Javier Castillo, this is a good question. What do you think poker needs in order to increase its popularity? That's a tough one. I guarantee you that is the question that every single online poker site is asking themselves right now. What can they do to make it more popular? How can they bring new players in? I actually think YouTube is a bit of an untapped platform. But what I think, to increase its popularity, you need to keep the dream alive that you can make it as a professional poker player. You need to keep the dream alive that you can play small stakes, work way up, and maybe play big buy-in tournaments one day, maybe play big high stakes cash games. That's what it needs. Flush Draw, have you ever considered using Twitch? I did like briefly set up a channel with the idea of doing it, but I'm not sure I would be that good at it. That's the main reason I've not done it in the past. But if there's a strong call for it, maybe I might do it one day, I don't know. Question from Anthony Ryu? Not sure how you say that name. Ryu? What is your biggest live cash game pot? Okay, I know I run good. I'm very aware. I might do a video about this in the future, but my 5 biggest live cash game pots, I've won all of them ridiculously. Like there's hidden variants in poker, there's in-your-face variants, and that's obviously pretty damn lucky. I have 2 pots which were very similar sized. I'm actually not completely sure which one was bigger. The first one is a PLO hand. And just before all you PLO wizards out there flame me in the chat, I'm obviously a fish, I know. There's a 50-100 PLO game running at the Palm Beach. Probably about 2 years ago now. The game was like 6-7-handed. It was just a bit of a punt really. I sat with 10k, I wasn't going to rebuy. I was up to about 15-16k. And a hand plays out where one of the best UK pros, Andy Mosley, raises to 300. I have ace, 6 with no suits. On the button, I call. The small blind calls, and the big blind's a Russian guy. He makes it 1800. Everyone has me covered. And Mosley calls, and now I'm like, I don't know if this logic's right or not, but I was like, wait, but no one else can have aces. So, pot. I pot to like 6-7k, call, and it comes queen, 8, 5 with 2 hearts. Check. I move in for my like half pot bet. Russian guy calls, Mosley folds, and we just run the board out. We run it once, and it runs out 9-10. So queen 8-5, 9-10. I'm like, God, I've obviously like, I can't even think of 4 cards that I beat here. I just like reluctantly turn over my aces and grimace, thinking like, I don't really know what's going on here, but let's see what happens. And he mucks, and I win. Like this ridiculous, I win this humongous pot. The other biggest cash game pot that I won was in Nottingham at Dusseldorf. It was actually in that 100-200 game that I mentioned earlier. I was in Nottingham for some tournament there at DTD, and me and Midi went to go play a cash game. We were told it was going to be 5-10, but then all of a sudden it was 10-25. Then all of a sudden it was 10-25-50. Then all of a sudden it was 50-100, and then all of a sudden it was 50-100, 200, 400, and we were like, what the hell's going on here? So the 200 was on at this point, and I'm sat with 20k. Under the gun, opens to 500. I'm on the button, look down, pocket aces. I raise to 1500, folds back around to the under the gun, and he just moves in. Has me covered. I got 20k. I'm like, okay, call. And he's like, one time. I was like, okay. I ended up holding against kings. So not very interesting, but there it is. Jeff Stanley, how much do you travel? It seems like you're all over the place. Yes, a hell of a lot. I can't remember the last time I was in one place for longer than a month. I'm literally going, I'm always like traveling all over the place, playing different events, doing different things. And a sick part of me loves it. I love the uncertainty. I know that might sound a bit weird, but I like the uncertainty of not knowing where I'm going to be next, which does not go hand in hand with family life. And that's definitely been a struggle we've had to deal with. I have this real bad thing where I just love just booking things last minute and being spontaneous and just doing things at the very last second. Sometimes I'll just arrive in a city knowing I'm there for a week, but I won't have booked a hotel. I'll know I should have, but I'll just arrive and I'll be just like, okay, well, I'll find somewhere to sleep. Hopefully I'll find a hotel or a friend or something. I don't know, I guess that's kind of question from Brandon Shields. What's the worst downswing you've ever been on during your poker career, and how did you deal with it / get through it? In fact, last year in Vegas might have been probably one of my biggest, because I played the 100k. I only had about 25% of myself, but still that was like way bigger than I normally play in a tournament. Bricked most of the series, and I've been on like a bit of a downswing earlier that year too, so probably about 100k downswing maybe. It definitely hurts. You start to question everything. You start to question when you're in that dark place. You start to question everything you're doing, and it feels like you're second guessing yourself. And I honestly don't think that ever goes away. I think you've just got to try and get through it really, and I think just play your way through it. Maybe move down a little bit to a slightly lower variance game that you're going to be able to beat bigger. That's actually another reason I was playing more live cash, because I felt it was way more steady than tournaments. Obviously, I still have a big love for tournaments, but the variance is just insane. And with family life, I wanted a bit more stability rather than just tournaments. Question, what's the hardest thing about being a professional poker player? It comes with quite a few challenges. I think one of the biggest things it's probably the biggest pro about being a professional poker player is the freedom. You don't have a boss, you can set your own hours. But that also makes it the hardest part too, because you have to be the one who like kicks yourself up the arse. You have to be the one who makes yourself put the hours in, who makes yourself work harder. As a professional poker player, if your alarm goes off, you don't have to get up. Like you have to literally force yourself. You have to set your own routine, set your own hours, do all that yourself. Which I know it's like Crimey River, you have to do that. But certain personalities, they need like to be within a structure. So I think that's where some poker players fall down, because they find it difficult to do that part of it. Jack C, good name. Do you ever dabble in any mixed games? A little bit of PLO. I'm still on the journey to start playing more PLO, but right now I'm more focused on live cash games actually. That's my main focus right now. I would like to learn PLO at some point, better than I do now. And normally once a year at the World Series, I'll play like a random 1K or 1500 mixed event just for fun. Domain UK asks, do you think you can be a winning player live and a losing player online? 1,000,000%. Online's just way, way harder. Okay, I just wanted to say I really wish I could get vlogs out quicker. I'm not a vlogger who plays poker. I'm a poker player who vlogs, if that makes sense. So I try my hardest with the software, I try my hardest to get them out quicker, but it really does take me a lot of time, and I hope you guys can bear with me with that. So Q&A over. The footage had come out on Sunday, so I just had to do that bit again. That's all done now. Tomorrow, I am going to be playing Cash Game. So I'm going to Prague in a couple of days. Looking forward to it, looking forward to getting out there. And I have a special surprise on the way. Thanks for watching.